Adriano de Souza returns to Snapper Rocks, a new man, a world champion. His lifelong dream accomplished last season, not only with taking the title, but taking the Pipe Masters along the way. In a final over Gabriel Medina, de Souza becomes the first Brazilian to win Pipe, and it was a place that he had been wanting to do well at for years.
The next year, the year after. I mean, you know, there's a few guys that have done it back to back and reinvent themselves. Let's talk about Kolohe's wave here first, though. While you're talking, Joe, I was just looking over your shoulder, watching this wave. This wave lined up absolutely perfect. We talk about those waves that you get that can win you heats, and you just got to stay with it. You've just got to make sure your timing's right. Kolohe right there, known for his air game. He's gotten bigger and stronger. Let's see if he just sticks to the wave and lets his surf and do the talk and bangs it up through the lip right there. Kolohe, you know, I think because he's growing, he's got to be really careful with his boards as well, because he tends, for me, sometimes to seem like he overpowers his boards. But in that case right there, looked absolutely spot on.
Great to see Kolohe with that kind of form out of the gates, especially knowing that he hasn't really been in the water much in the last month and a half or so. So has his foot a little taped up. He was able to train and stay physically fit, but he couldn't get out in the water for a long time. Andino's a guy, just like John, everyone in his class, basically everyone on tour, they like to surf all day.
Yep.
And so he was just sitting at home, compared to last season Potts, where he'd already done a handful of QS events by now.
Yeah, absolutely right. But, you know, let's go back to de Souza for a sec. We're talking about him. This is going to be a tough year for him. I mean, the spotlight is right on, and he's got that big target right now, world champion.
Well, he's looking to open up this heat, wearing that Jeep yellow jersey, as world #1 should. He'll float this section. He's got a little bit to work with. He'll swipe off the top. Here comes the carve. Just a little down carve right into a bottom turn to set up the 2-for-1 on the finish. He'll lose the reverse, and now back to Mikey Wright. Mikey, sporting what you'd call a mullet for a haircut. Always fun to catch up with behind the scenes. He's so classic and entertaining. Another exciting wild card just to mix things up on the top 34.
What a talent too. You know, I mean, the kid's got talent coming out of his ears and his eyes and, you know, all parts of his body, but you know, if he can put it together in a 30-minute heat, it could be very dangerous. You know, going back to de Souza too, I mean, we talk about how he's going to handle this year. You know, he says he wants to do exactly what he did last year, you know, which is win another world title. One of the hardest things to do. He's got to reinvent himself. The judges are now going to want to see more from him. On top of that, he just got married. So let's have a look at Mikey Wright's last wave. Beautiful opening turn. Big, strong kid too. So this kid's going to put that back foot down. He's good in the air. The thing with Mikey is he going to try and, you know, over surf the wave instead of letting that whole timing thing come into play, which is very, very important here at Snapper Rocks. You've got to take off for that first turn like de Souza does and just let the wave stand up for you and then react, which de Souza does absolutely perfect right there again. So two perfectly timed maneuvers, a little bit of a glitch right there, but then gets back on track. So de Souza, one of those guys that keeps his feet in the same spot on the board, doesn't move up and down, and then that bottom turn. I love it the way he draws off the bottom. He gets nice and low, almost like a spring where he coils up and then just unloads.
What a confidence boost, knowing that the judges are loving your approach at the start of the season.
You know, I think sometimes not surfing is good for these guys. You know, they've surfed so much. It's not like you've got to go out every day and catch waves. You know, you can sort of get saturated with surfing. Kolohe Andino looks fresh. He looks alive. And, you know, as you said, maybe still carrying a little bit of an injury, but the wounded animal is dangerous. Kolohe, beautiful check turn right there. Nice flow, nice rhythm. We talk about that timing, that's important. Gouging into that turn. He's picking up a lot of power as well in the off-season. So Kolohe starting to grow into a young man. He's not a boy anymore. He needs to start surfing that way. And this 9.10 is a great way to start off.
An epic finish as well. Throw tail reverse. Loves to show that progression when he wants to, but showing full rail power hooks along the way.
Yeah. See him setting it up. Now he starts to draw off the bottom. One of the most important turns in surfing that is overlooked is that bottom turn. That bottom turn sets everything up. If you connect with that bottom turn, you come off the bottom with a lot of power. And once you've got that power and speed, anything is possible in the sport of surfing.
Also using the lip to hit, mixing it up well down the line. Love seeing that power game, something his father Dino is really proud of. Whenever Kolohe did an air when he was a Grom, Dino would just laugh and say, I didn't tell him to do that. He just picked that up on his own. The main thing Dino was translating was those great fundamentals, technique, style was so important. He studied photos where the arms were going, where the upper body was moving to lead the charge. Andino up again. He'll start with a wrapping cutback. Little rip off the top. Now trying to fill in the gaps with a late hit. He'll go down on the second maneuver, but that'll go into his top two and put more pressure onto Souza and Mikey Wright.
And we always take note, you're always the first person in the water in the morning. Your workout routine is so rigorous, but we noticed this morning you're delivering kegs of beer. Where's the focus lying at the moment, and is that making it more fun and more enjoyable for you at the moment?
Yeah, a bit of both at the moment. No, it was a busy week. We just launched Bolter this week, which is it's been exciting, with Kersey and Bede and Parko, and so it was a busy week with that. And but yeah, first and foremost, I always just want to go surfing. I sort of not as freaked out to be the first one in the water anymore. It's more about just surfing when I want to surf, and just being in love with surfing and just doing it for the fun of it.
Well, Mick, thanks for catching up with us, and we hope you take this one all the way.
Thanks. I just want to shout out to a couple of mates, just had babies, Cruz and P. Well done, boys. Works.
Back to you, Joe.
Thanks a lot, Rosie. Great to hear Mick Fanning. You can tell he's in a great place right now, having a blast doing his job and doing it quite well. Pocket 8s, almost getting a 9 on his high mark, as he might just be breezing through this event, just enjoying the action. What a different headspace to be in than competing for a world title. But he's really welcoming this free headspace where he can take on all these different aspects of his life. Back to this one with Souza knifing that first section. He'll lay the rail down to carve. Now he's got a lot of momentum and board speed. Lay back, blow tail, he will recover, and Souza rides out. Adriano was looking for a 6.21 to take the lead off Andino.
Yeah, nice tight surf in there from Souza. That yellow jersey, that means he's number 1 in the world. He's leading the charge. Everyone's trying to take him down. There's that added pressure of being the best in the world. He's going to be attacked by the media at every single event, so there's that added pressure of that as well. And as we said before, just recently married, so a different Adriano de Souza this year, straight up through the lip. Watch this bottom turn right now. He comes off the top there. Watch how low he gets as he drives down the line. He really crouches right down and gets that full speed off the bottom, and what that does is it just gives him enough speed to do exactly what kind of maneuver that he's has chosen. Look how low he gets. Takes a little step, now he bends down, coils off the bottom, drives off that back foot, and then just unleashes that top turn. Now, the bottom turn sets you up for every single maneuver in surfing, so it becomes one of the most important things. You get that clean bottom turn, anything is possible.
And we see the finish and recovery from De Souza as he's looking for the 6.21. Still 17:20 on the clock as we get a shot from the sky. Adriano still up now. Torquing that cutback, trimming the white water, and he'll hop out. Still working on the score, waiting on 2 numbers now from the man wearing the yellow. He'll watch this one, Mikey Wright. Little under the lip hook, and he's got fly out of there. Mikey, remember, had the 5.17 early. Right now needs a 7.04. From the famous Wright family. As we know, Owen Wright's not going to be able to surf through the first few events of the season, as he'll keep us posted on his recovery from the injury he had at Pipe. This is Kolohe now. First turn, solid out the back. Driving through that oncoming section. There's that big body torque wrap. Throws it up vertical, filling in the gaps well. Now he's just waiting for a finishing move. Sits on it, and he'll get out. Andino came out firing with a 9.10 and now protecting his lead.
Yeah, that's going to be better. He's going to improve his situation. He's got a better 3.10. So anything more than that is going to improve his situation. He's got De Souza chomping at the bit right now, though. He's going to be snapping at his heels. De Souza requiring a 6.21 on that last exchange. Notice Mikey Wright's board. It looked like he's got the front foot pad on the board, which is old school.
It's really old school.
Which I love.
Did you ever do that?
I used to rock that back in the Astro Deck days. I think that's the Dread deck from Hoy, so interesting to see that come back.
We've seen that pop up quite a bit. Doesn't it tear your chest up though, Potts?
Yeah, well, you got to wear a rashi. I mean, there's Mikey right here going for a big air, but De Souza, Joe.
Dropping some numbers. Adriano a 6.77. 2 waves ago. Now he'll get his last score locked in. That's 6-7-7, enough to take the lead off Andino. Remember, Kolohe has 1 more wave to be scored as we take another look.
Yeah, beautiful opening turn here. You know, I can't emphasize how important timing is. You know, Snapper Rocks, it's a wave where you spend a lot of time up and riding. So if your timing's off, you kind of get exposed. Alongside of that, if your boards aren't firing, that's going to show as well. So there's a number of factors that come into play here at Snapper to surf well. You've got to be on the right wave, your timing's got to be on, and you've got to have a great board under your feet.
Qualified at just 17.
Yeah, I know how it feels.
Yeah, you skipped that.
I missed all the Pro Juniors myself, but you know, at the end of the day, it's where you want to be. This is where you want to, you know, it's where you're shooting for. You know, all that stuff in you know, before that, it's stepping stones, it's momentum building, it's experience. But
using those words on the criteria, where were they seeing this going to the 9-point range?
Well, it was, you know, all that speed, power, and flow, but then the variety as well. You know, variety of major maneuvers. And that's, I think, what is a key here. You've got to mix it up. You've got to show the judges something different every time. He's showing some power right there. He's showing variety with the, you know, the big carvings maneuvers with the air at the end. You know, he mixed it up perfectly. His timing was right on. He didn't catch any rails. His turns were seamless. You know, joined the dots perfectly right there. That was the innovation in the variety of major turns. So, you know, 9.10. We're just seeing the scores get better and better by each heat. I mean, the last heat with Wade Carmichael and Mick Fanning was the highest single totals, 8.9 from Wade and 8.87.
One man wears yellow. That means he's #1 in the world on top of the Jeep leaderboard. So that translates from last year's world title race as we start from scratch with 0 points out of the gates. This is Mikey right now. Clean jam in the pocket, uses the coping on the second move, winds up for the tail high reverse and pulls it off. Had a lot of maneuvers in a small space. He's hoping for at least an 8.51 to take the lead.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an 8.51, but it's a good start. I mean, he's got a 5.17, kick things off, which was his first wave. A 3.07 is his second score. So if he keeps plucking away, he's got just under 8 minutes to go. There's a lot of waves coming through at the moment, so Mikey's just got to keep plucking away.
So Mikey Wright paddling back out, looking for more, down to 7.50, as we'll take another look.
Yeah, it was a smaller wave. He just needed to get the ball rolling. You can see him sort of bouncing the board, getting his feet in the right place. Beautiful opening turn. This was a combination of turns right here. Talk about the judging criteria, combination of major maneuvers. So there was 3 solid turns. You don't necessarily have to get a wave from out the back all the way through to Little Marley Rocks. You can fit 3 big turns in a short space like Medina did and still get some big points.
We saw Medina come back in his heat to take a win. Fanning won the next one. Toledo victorious. Italo Ferreira winning the first heat. Michel Perez, the only not top-seeded surfer in his matchup to take a win so far today. As we see Mikey Wright. The wild card option here at the Quiksilver Pro Gold Coast, presented by the Bank of Queensland.
You know, I definitely liked a certain board that I had and I kept for a long time.
This is Mikey. Beautiful carve right in the pocket. Lays that rail down again. 2 similar maneuvers into the inside. He'll go straight up a couple times. There's that quick transition to finish. Meanwhile, the world champ out the back, blitzing a section on his forehand. Will step on the whitewater. Now to Souza, looks to finish. He'll flow right past Mikey. Got just a little wave left, full wrap. And he'll just chip away on the inside corner. Remember, de Souza fighting for a 6.91 to get the lead off Andino. And still looking for a ramp section. Blows the tail into a layback, but he won't recover.
Yeah, an interesting situation there. Did that last little bit of the wave, is that going to make a difference in the scoring potential? Because really, you look at the time right now, just over 4 minutes to go. De Souza's way down the bottom right now. He's got a long paddle ahead of him. There was a decision that needed to be made right there. Could he have kicked out and maybe got back out and got another one? But he hinged all his bets on the end of that wave to try and get that 6.91. So it's going to be an interesting situation.
As we take a look from the start of Mikey's wave pots.
Yeah, just waiting for it to stand up. Beautiful turn right here. Look at the power that he takes to that first maneuver. And again, so back-to-back turns. This is going to maybe go, well, I think it's definitely going to go Mikey's top 2. Didn't quite ride out of that last maneuver right there, but all the damage was done with those 2 big man turns from Mikey Wright, just showing how much power the kid's got.
More waves on the way, 3:20 to go. Andino looks, And that one will roll underneath him. Waiting for scores from De Souza to see if he'll get a lead change with 3:15 to go. Mikey Wright had a nice easy breakfast this morning with his sister Tyler, as Tyler will be in the first tee to the Roxy Pro when that one gets underway. They're off for the day. It's all about the top 34 on the men's side of things to try to complete round one. We're looking forward to this matchup to kind of see the form of De Souza, as we'll take another look at this last wave.
Yeah, this is it. This is Adriano's last roll of the dice. Can he get the lead on this turn here? Wraps it around, waits for it to stand up. It's important not to oversurf the wave. And there it is right there. So a couple of big turns on the opening part of that wave from De Souza, but he milked it all the way through, which I don't think really added too much to that scoring potential. So what he's done is he's put himself right out of position right now. He's way down the line, and with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go, I doubt that he's going to get back out. All right, opening turn, nice slice right there. So he gets that board pumping. Nice little snap. Watch how low he gets on his bottom turn. This is a part of his surfing that I love. Bang, right there, beautiful turn. So 3 solid maneuvers. Didn't quite connect on there. Now we have the opportunity right here to kick out. He's looking at it, he's assessing the situation, and he's thinking, I can add to the total. Let's have a look at this back part of the wave. Is this going to make any difference in the scoring potential? Not really so far. I don't think he's added too much to that wave. The judges aren't going to really give him too many points, and then didn't finish at the end here. So maybe a slight little mistake there from De Souza. He's way down the line, trying to get himself back into position. 1.5 to go. Is that going to be enough, Joe?
De Souza wants to keep that position on top of the Jeep leaderboard. Been loving that feeling wearing yellow. He's had to chase it a few times, especially over last season. Crazy battle with someone he mentions as his biggest inspiration, Mick Fanning, who ended up finishing runner-up to De Souza at the end of the year at the Pipe Masters. Heading into the final minute now. This is Andino looking to protect his lead. Carved to start. Here comes his second move. All just busy work to fill in the gaps. That next section will take him out. Now it's Mikey Wright. Float, grab rail, carve. Throws it up for the vertical climb. Now Mikey looking to finish. It's got some momentum. Just a quick tag off the white water a couple times. Doing a good job to create some space. Searching for a 6.81. And he'll kick out of there. So his previous wave 6.87, Mikey's wave before 6.57 is keeping him in the mix. Now numbers dropping for Adriano De Souza, a 6.93 from the panel, and that's enough for a lead change. Andino now is chasing a 4.6, and Mikey a 6.84. 15 seconds to go, Potts.
Well, I eat my words. That was enough to swing that. 3 solid turns out the back was enough, according to the judges.
And now running out of time right at the end, Adriano De Souza with priority over Andino is allowed to take off in front of him. And he'll close this one out with the lead right at the tail end of this matchup. Kolohe was leading from the opening strike with a 9-1-0. He still leaves this heat with by far the best single wave that takes top 2, and De Souza ends up on top. Along with the panel, they call for replays. De Souza now listening to the scores coming through. It's a 6.87 and enough for the Quiksilver Pro wild card. Mikey Wright, a pair of 6.87s, sends the world champ into round 2, along with Andino, who had the best number of the heat.